Ja Morant has trade value after all, teams completely disregarding what he's doing in Memphis. They think Ja just wants out. Plus, Draymond Green squares off with a fan, and now the NBA has stepped in. I'm Trevor Lane. This is the Basketball Bulletin. Make sure you subscribe right here to the channel. 70% of you not subscribed. Let's fix that. Hit that subscribe button. Joining me, it's Donnie Freeman. Donnie, we've talked a lot about Ja Morant over the last few weeks. Obviously, the whole situation in Memphis that really boiled over after that loss they had a few weeks ago to the Lakers. It's been a rough season in Memphis. He's out right now dealing with an injury. But according to Zach Lowe, Ja Morant, opposing teams that might be interested in trading for him are dismissing the poor numbers that he's putting up this season. According to Lowe, he said he's averaging 18 a game, shooting 36% from the field, 17% from three, and just looks disengaged. But they're saying he looks like a guy who wants out, and they're going to judge him on his long-term record over what he's doing right now. Is this James Harden in Houston, or one of several other places that Harden has been, the Nets, the 76ers, where you could just tell a guy wants out, and that as soon as he gets somewhere else, the numbers are going to go back up?
I don't know if anybody's ever been better than Harden at that, because Harden will literally tank the game, and then all of a sudden it's like this guy's washed, and it's like, wait, never mind, he's great.
Harden, even like you see those actors who undergo like physical transformation, like Christian Bale has these crazy physical transformations for roles. James Harden, when he's done, you know it. He starts growing the belly, right? He's like, that's right. Conditioning. No, give me that donut.
I'll never forget that shot of him. I think it was for the Lakers game in 2021, one of his last games in Houston, where he finally was like, you know what, I'm done with this. The Lakers just ran him out the gym. Anyway, and he was on the sideline, and he had on that, like, they were calling it the fat suit, and his gut was sticking all the way out there. And it was like, and then as soon as he gets to Brooklyn, it's gone. He's back in shape. It's like, what happened here, James? Like,
he sends that message. He sends that. So I don't think we're going to see fat Ja Morant anytime soon. He's not going to fast forward this thing.
Fat. He's not built like that.
No, he's not. But do you think teams are right to completely dismiss Ja Morant's numbers that he's putting up right now when healthy, which by the way he has not been? But do you think teams are right to do that and think that, you know what, hey, if we get Ja in our building, he's going to go back to being the Ja Morant from a few years ago, or from even last season that was putting up 23 and 7. Right now, Ja 18, 7.6 assists, but 17% from three and 36% from the field.
Yeah. Can you actually pull up Ja month by month last season while I talk? Because I think that really prove a good point with Ja. Firstly, I've always said I think he's got the world of talent. Like, this guy is so ridiculously talented. We've seen him output tremendously. A couple of years ago, he was in MVP contention. You know, he finished 7th, finished 12th, it looks like. And Ja was really, really good. The Grizzlies were a 50-win team a couple of seasons there. And all of a sudden, he starts getting injured. There's some off-court stuff, of course, that we can't gloss over. And he just never really got back to that. But so if that's the case, which version of Ja are they like saying he is? Is he the end of last season Ja? Is he Ja from a couple of years ago? Has he been disgruntled for the last couple of years? I think right now, the Ja that we're seeing is clearly not Ja, unless he just fell off a cliff somehow, like just drastically. He's very clearly not the player that we're seeing right now with these horrendous finishing and horrendous averages in terms of like his shot making. But if you are a team trading for Ja Morant, with that context in mind, I do think that you could get a really good player in there who shows you who he is afterwards. Now, you would still have those same injury concerns and things like that, but you could very well see the real Ja after a trade.
Yeah, I mean, he's made comments about like people were upset that he was, diving to the basket so much. And now people are complaining that he's not doing it enough because he's not looking like himself and all that. But again, to your point, you look here, January last year, 18 points per game, not shooting particularly well, 23 points per game. And then look, to close out last season, 30 points per game on 7.6 assists, and then 30 points per game again.
Remember, they also were running the least pick and rolls in the league. They were playing the ball through everyone else, and then they fire the coach, and then he gets the ball back in his hands, and he's able to be himself again. So that's part of this too, is Ja has shown that if the ball's not in his hands a lot, he's not able to be himself. So you have to also build a team around him in that way where he can play kind of that heliocentric style too.
And his minutes are certainly down this year as well, just 28.8 minutes as Coach Isolo in Memphis is trying to get this team rotating in and out, quick substitution patterns, trying to keep a fresh team out there on the floor. We do need to talk a little bit about what this could mean for a team. We look at Ja's salary and then get into the Draymond bit here. But first, quick shout out to our presenting sponsor, and that is Sleeper. They do a wonderful job. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Sleeper is the #1 fantasy sports app. It pays to know sports. Pick more or less on top players. Your first pick is on us, so start winning now. Play in Texas, Georgia, Minnesota, and 27 more states. Pick anytime across all sports, pregame or live. Over 10 million players are already on Sleeper. Make your picks count. Score up to 1,000 times your cash. Join today. Get up to $100 credit using the code Bulletin. Call your shot on Sleeper. Download now.
All right. And use that code Bulletin. We always appreciate it when you guys help support the companies that help support us and keep us going, keep us growing. Taking a look at some picks for tonight. Luka, 2.5 assists in the first quarter. He plays usually the first 9-10 minutes or so of the quarter. I think he can rack up some assists in that time. I've also got Lauri Markkanen going over 25.5 points. The Jazz, they run a very fast-paced offense, a lot of off-ball cuts, plenty of shot attempts for Lauri. And then Rui Hachimura, the man has been deadly behind the arc. I've got him hitting 2 threes or more in this game tonight. If you guys want to check it out, use the link in the description down below. And again, use that code Bulletin. All right, Donnie, let's talk a little bit about the salary piece of all of this. So if you're another team, you'd better believe that Ja Morant is not what he's been so far this season, that he will return to the Ja of old if you're going to trade for him, because this is a big salary commitment. If you're going to pay $40 million this year, $42 million next year, and $45 million the year after that, if you're going to make that kind of a financial commitment to Ja Morant, you better hope, we're talking about $130 million here just about, you better hope that Ja Morant is not really this guy at 26 and he didn't just fall off a cliff here.
And he's going to be looking for that 70+ extension here too.
Yep.
He's going to be looking for that to take up the last couple of years here. So he is going to be a very interesting player to acquire for all these reasons. And also I do think that he's on the right path of not playing as recklessly as high flyer ish, because we've seen these guys. We have players of the past like a Derrick Rose who played similarly, and we have obviously an example of how that could potentially go. And so for Ja, I think that is the right idea. But if he's not finishing elitely, then is that even a word? If he's not an elite finisher, then he's so diminished on the offensive end because he's not able to shoot the ball well either. So maybe he needs to just round out the other parts of his game as well, but that's something that'll take some time. But I do think that if you get Ja, you're going to see a better version than the Ja we're seeing now, because the bar right now is just so unbelievably low. His percentages are just terrible. He's shooting like 36% on 17 points per game. That's just not who he is. So,
And worth noting that it was just yesterday that the Grizzlies did announce that Ja Morant is going to be out. He's going to miss time here. A grade 1 calf strain, and we know the concern with calf strain specifically, that it can turn into an Achilles situation if you don't let it heal 100%. It's why the Mavs are being part of why the Mavs are being so careful with Anthony Davis. You got to be careful with calf strains. So grade 1 calf strain, he's going to be reevaluated in 2 weeks. Memphis already struggling right now. We look at the season, you look at their record and where they're at right now. They're down near the bottom of the Western Conference, currently sitting in the 11th seed at 4-10 on the season. And now they're going to be missing Ja for at least the next 2 weeks, if not longer.
Really quick on this. It's interesting how age is such an important factor, because when we talk about Anthony Davis, who you brought him up, right? It's like, oh man, we need to see this guy get out there, be healthy, all these other things. But we're not saying the same things about Ja. In fact, they're saying the opposite. Ja played 9 games a couple seasons ago. He played 50 games last year. He played 61 the year before the 9. Like, he's not at 57 the year before that. I think that was a shortened season though. But he's not been durable by any stretch of the imagination. He's always been injured. So, and there could be varying reasons as to why he's unavailable, of course, but the key thing is he's not been available. And so I would have similar concerns with Ja personally about acquiring him and investing all that money when he's not shown that he can be out there for more than 70% of the season, give or take.
Agreed. And if the Grizzlies want what they reportedly want, which is a butts in their seats star, a guy who's going to attract a lot of attention, or like multiple picks and young players, it may be tough to find what they would be looking for by the trade deadline here. They have to have a team that really falls in love with Ja Morant. Sacramento, don't you do it. Don't do it, Sacramento. But that's what they've got to figure out there. But I think the reason why is because when we look at Ja and we look at the numbers from right now, and we talk about, well, Zach Lowe says teams are discounting what's happening right now. Instead, they're looking at what he's done over the course of his career. He's 26.
Yeah,
he's 26. So there's the fear with AD when guys hit, especially AD is like an old 32. Right. AD is 32 going on 57. And so there's a fear, like you want to see him out there on the court just to confirm that he hasn't fallen off that age cliff. I don't think there's much risk that Ja has fallen off the age cliff at 26. You've got other things that you're worried about with Ja Morant. You know, when he gets on the court, the man can play basketball. It's unlikely that he just completely forgot how to do what he does. It's more likely he's not happy with the situation. The system isn't working for him, all those other things. With AD, how much have we really seen him in the last almost year, 9 months or so? I mean, since the Luka trade, how much have we really seen him in Dallas? Not much at all. And so people are going to want confirmation that he has not fallen off that age cliff.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. It's just so much of it is age related. Like if Ja was 31, we'd be talking about him the same way. And there's a chance that Ja obviously winds up having a really healthy stretch from here for the rest of his career. Some guys could obviously dial it in, but there's also an equal chance that he doesn't, and he looks a lot like AD 4 or 5 years from now. We're talking about him the exact same way, right? But very, very interesting overall.
All right. So Zach Lowe saying teams will discount what's happening right now, instead look at Ja's big picture numbers, which if Memphis has an eye towards trading him, that's actually a really good thing for the Grizzlies. All right, let's talk a little bit about this Draymond Green situation, though, here. The NBA today announcing they have issued a warning to Draymond Green for his interaction with they call him a vocal fan in New Orleans on Sunday night. No fine or anything for Draymond. The fan was chanting Angel Reese toward Green, who responded. Is that crossing a line? Is that just funny? Where do you land on a fan calling Draymond Green Angel Reese?
I mean, he took it as he was calling him a woman, which that's what he said. So I can understand why he would be offended by that, right?
This is a very tall fan, by the way.
Yeah.
Unless is this dude standing up on his feet? Because Draymond is like 6'6". He's undersized for his position.
Yeah, he's like 6'4", you know. But,
you think Draymond's really 6'4"?
I think he's like 6'4", maybe 6'5".
Man. Okay.
Anyway,
that's a tall fan.
Yeah, for sure. And I got to say, we also should put some respect on Angel. She was really good last season. Her percentages went way up as well. So I got to say that too. But, I can understand why he would be offended by that for sure. This is just part of the game, though. Like the fans always they're gonna say whatever they think they need to say to get in your head, to distract you, to importantly get attention from you too, right? Like this isn't the first time he's been called a woman or been heckled or anything like that. I doubt it in his long career. So to me, I don't think that the response was completely warranted, but I can understand why it would annoy him for sure.
Yeah, exactly. I have a tough time with these things where players get upset with fans for heckling them. Especially in New Orleans. It'd be one thing if New Orleans was this dominant team or something.
But by the same token, I also don't mind players responding either. Like I don't mind players responding either, because if you dish it, you got to be able to take it too. I just think that sometimes some of this stuff, both ways for the record, goes a bit too far, and clearly Draymond thought that was too far. I personally don't think that's too far, but I do think there is a line that a fan can cross where the player is warranted to be really upset at them.
Yeah, and there's obviously where that line is going to be a different thing for different people. Everybody's gonna have their own opinion of where that line actually is for what fans can say to players. I think fans should be invested in games. Fans should be cheering for their team, should be rooting against the other team, right? That's part of it. The whole emotional connection. It's a big piece of fandom, right? You want to cheer for your heroes and boo the villains and go from there. But this is also not WWE. This is not scripted where you are supposed to boo somebody and that person knows you are supposed to, but like this is an actual human being. And so you can understand if even, God, I can't believe I'm defending Draymond here. If you wind up with a person having an emotional reaction to what's being said to him, especially if it's repetitive and over, and he's being called Angel Reese nonstop, who's known for, rebounding the ball pretty well, but, maybe not having the best touch in the paint. It's true, right?
Okay,
it does. Look, does a bunch of great things.
A lot better. She shot like 38 and then followed that with 45. I'll take that.
We'll take that. Absolutely. But obviously, he was not doing it to compliment Draymond's skills as a basketball player. He was doing it as an insult to Draymond Green. So, at some point, it gets to be obnoxious. And Draymond confronting that fan. The problem for the NBA is if it turns into anything more. And we don't want to, of course, there's the whole malice at the palace. I mean, that's the extreme example, but the NBA wants to make sure they put a stop to it. I'm seeing a lot of the reaction to this, though, has been, of course, Draymond just gets a warning. Of course, there's no fine because Draymond gets away with everything.
Yeah.
Where do you fall on that?
He may be the most protected player in the NBA. I'm not even going to lie to you. Like, because Draymond is the type of guy where they're like literally scared to throw him out. Especially since that one time where they had no choice because he reached the tech limit in the finals, right? But they don't throw this dude out, man. He will get that tech. And if he gets it early, it's the worst thing that could happen for you if you're an opposing team, because he will be on 10 the rest of the game and they will just look the other way.
He's invulnerable from there. Once he gets his first technical foul, they don't want to kick him out. So he can do whatever he wants at that point.
Yeah. Most protected may be a bit hyperbolic, but he is absolutely, I understand that response for sure.
Draymond can kick a ref in the gut, stone cold stunner him right at center court, spray paint NWO on his back, mix in as many different wrestling tropes as you want, and still not get kicked out of the game. Once he gets that first technical, it's getting the superstar in Super Mario Brothers. Nothing can hurt him at that point, and he's not going to get kicked out.
Did Draymond get ejected for those ball kicks he was doing a couple years ago? And all the crazy stuff like stepping on Sabonis' face and all that stuff.
Yeah, the extra kick to Sabonis. I believe he did wind up getting ejected.
At that point, you have no choice, man. He's doing too much.
Right. Okay, Donnie, I got to show you this because this is what I had never seen this before. This is in the response to Shams Charania's post. I'll be honest, I don't even know what this is. Obviously, it's a create a character thing.
By the way, we didn't ever say what Draymond said to the guy. He said, if you keep talking to me like that, I'll punch you out. By the way.
See, that's where I think we should draw the line, right? That's where we should draw. Like, Draymond should not be verbally threatening the fan.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Then that's where, if we want to say he should get fined, that should be a thing. But
what the hell is this?
This was in the responses to Shams' tweet. Watch this.
Oh my God.
What?
Like, where did the baby come from? What the hell is that?
I think it's supposed to be Kyrie.
Oh my God. It is Kyrie. Oh my God.
Like, what?
Draymond would never do this to LeBron. I say that, but he's got LeBron a couple times pretty good too.
Right?
The jackhammer is crazy.
I saw this and I'm like, obviously this is from a while ago. I have not seen it before, but man. Okay. Anyway, back to the task again. Sorry, I was 12 years old again for a moment.
You still got it playing in the background. I see it.
I did. Yeah, I did down below. It's not playing on screen right now.
Okay, but I see it.
I will stop sharing that screen. Here we go. I will stop distracting you. But here, if Draymond is indeed threatening to punch out the fan,
yes,
then it should have been a fine. If that's legitimate, that's what he really said, then it should be some type of a fine. Now, in 2022, he's been fined for directing obscene language towards a fan. That's obviously, so he's got a little bit of a history doing that. The fan was saying this stuff because Draymond had missed 5 straight shots. But if that's true, if that's what Draymond said to him, then that I think needs to be a fine from the NBA, because that's trying to instigate more things happening there. Although I did think it was funny that Steve Kerr this was his stance. Steve Kerr, rather than say, hey, Draymond shouldn't have said that, or the fan shouldn't have said that, Steve Kerr just sidestepped the entire situation and said security should have gotten there earlier.
That's true. No. Draymond needed to pull the LeBron where he goes to the ref, gets hey, come on. This one right here. Nope. Get him out of here. You remember that from the Pacers game?
Would that have been better?
No, because
if he had done that,
no, because people don't really like that online. Really, there's not really a right way to handle that if you're Draymond, I don't think, other than just shutting up.
What is the right thing for Draymond to do here? Just let the fan continue to say whatever he wants, confront him the way he did, direct. I mean, what should Draymond do?
In all seriousness, that would get you the most brownie points, proverbial brownie points, right? With fans online, but he's a human being, so I would expect him to respond. He's also an emotional, temperamental guy too, so he certainly would respond. So I think just for him, that would have been the best thing, but I can't expect that from him.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate because when you talk about expectations, that's why he gets away with stuff, because they look at him and say, we know who this guy is. We just expect him to be a problem. Like, we already know.
It's like, why did the Thunder get away with some of the fouls that they commit? Well, because they're an overly aggressive team. They believe the referees won't call them all, and they have a reputation for being a very physical team. So they probably get away with a little bit more than what some other teams do. Draymond is known for being a little spicy at times, and so he does get away with some stuff.
You know what we needed was we needed Draymond to be, because they let them get face to face. They let Draymond get face to face. They should have did the Luka thing from last year with OKC, as you mentioned them, where Luka's yelling at the guy and the ref took it personally and kicked him out of the game. They would never do that with Draymond.
No. And Luka gets into it with fans all the time. But it's always like a competitive, not like, hey, I'm going to beat you up type of situation.
Yeah, that's where, like I said, the line is different for different people, of course, from both sides, right? Like, I don't think that players should be able to just say, or fans should be able to say whatever to players. No. Like, there's a line there for sure. And as a person, what that line is. It's like, maybe this is a bit too much. I shouldn't say this, right? But heckling is fair game. Trash talking back and forth is fair game, right? Like, we've heard some legends of the game say that they would love to love to show up and just piss other fans off, like Jordan was saying a couple weeks ago. That people get, like, they really enjoy that, right? So I have no problem with that. It's just, I think saying I'm gonna punch you out, this and that, blah, 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 he took it a little too personally, in my opinion. But I'm not Draymond, so it is what it is.
Oh God, Jordan Poole is a Pelican.
All right, that's where we wrap up.
That just dawned on me
that's where he got a flashback, and he said, "Hold on, man, I'm a repeat offender here." Oh my God!
All right, everybody, make sure you do subscribe right here to the channel. Give us your thoughts on this situation as well as the Ja Morant trade front in the comments down below. Until next time, see ya and stay safe.